So we have our next fiddler, Terry Barrett, local legend. So Terry can be heard on many CDs, some of the Kenny Hall CDs, and most recently, Dos Valley Trio.
I got it.
Terry recorded a CD with Harry and Cindy Leadstrand, Dos Valley Trio. It's a fantastic CD of tunes inspired and originating from our local area here. Terry Barrett.
All right. Trying to figure out which one I talk into here. So have you ever heard how people say old-time music just all sounds alike, you know? And there was a time when some tunes did kind of sound alike, you know, but I think really that's not really true. And I went to, you know, like Turkey in the Straw, you know, there's this recording, and this guy plays this tune, Natchez Under the Hill. He says, it sounds just like Turkey in the Straw, but still there's a difference. And and when you hear it, it really does sound like Turkey in the Straw, you know, so it's like all tunes are descended from Turkey in the Straw. So I go to Louisiana. This is many, many years ago with Kenny Hall, the great Kenny Hall, and we went to Eunice, Louisiana, and went to this Mark Savoy's music store where he makes these Cajun accordions. And Kenny Hall and myself and John Green and the great Dennis McGee had a little jam session. And I'd seen Dennis McGee before I was aware of him. I had this album of him, actually, you know, and he looked like he was born in the 19th century. You know, he made 78 records, and they go to Louisiana, and there he is. You know, he's an older man, but he's playing great. And, you know, Kenny and Dennis McGee were kind of trying to relate to each other. You know, Kenny can play some pretty cool Cajun tunes. He was tinkling on his mandolin. And anyway, Dennis McGee says, well, he's going to play an English tune, you know. English chased the French out of Canada, you know, 500 years ago, I think. But anyway, he had this Cajun tune, and he plays it. And after he plays it, Kenny says, you know, I think that's Cripple Creek. So, you know, maybe really it's not just Turkey in the Straw. There's Cripple Creek, kind of like Adam and Eve. Like all tunes are descended from, you know, begat from those two tunes. So I'm going to try to play it. I can't really sound like Dennis McGee, but I can try. That sounds just like Cripple Creek, really. So lately, well, I got a job, first time in my life, just about. And anyway, one of the things I needed was a good, sharp chisel. And I've kind of been on this search. That's the hardest thing in the world, to sharpen a chisel, you know. There's all these different ways, you know, you can use sandpaper on flat stones, you can use Japanese water stones, you can grind it on wet, slow-speed grinders, you could drive yourself crazy. There's so many ways to do it. I finally got some sharp. But I ran across this tune called The Dull Chisel, so I had to learn it. All right. So I just can't resist tuning on stage. Okay, done. All right. Does that sound okay? All right. Many years ago, there was this traveling folk festival, which was really cool, to get a bunch of great musicians and then go hit the road and do a folk festival, like a traveling folk festival. It was at Fresno State, and I think Mike Seeger was the guy that kind of headed the thing up. But he had a French-Canadian fiddler, Louis Baudouin, who was there, and I had my little $17 cassette quarter, and I taped it illegally from the audience, and learned a tune off of here from Louis Baudouin. Oh, by the way, this is the Hangman Reel.